What is goody, family? Thank you for clicking on this video. But to get into this high taper, we're gonna go ahead and create our bald line at the top of the arch, and then we'll go all the way to where the ear connects to the head, and that's where we're gonna create our bald line using our trimmer, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and bald everything under that line out, and then I'm gonna follow it up with the shaver just to get it a little closer to the skin. And what this is gonna do is allow the haircut to last a little bit longer and really make that taper pop. And now to get into our first guideline, we're gonna go in with our clipper all the way open, and I'm going up about a ½ inch here. I'm not going up too high, and I'm just keeping that same exact shape that I made with my bald line, and brushing as I do so, especially with this texture of hair. It's really curly, so when you cut against it, it just kind of wants to curl up and stay in the same spot. So you want to make sure that you're brushing it down. And then to get rid of that line in between that open and that bald line, that bald that we created, we're gonna go with our clipper closed, and then gradually start to open that lever as we move up in that guideline. And as you can see, that should get rid of that line. And now we're gonna go ahead and follow that step up with our one guard all the way open. Again, going up about a ½ inch here, really using the corner of the blade just so I don't take off too much hair at once. And I'm just keeping that same exact shape. And then I'm right under that one guard open, I'm gonna go ahead and close that lever, and this isn't gonna get rid of that line fully, it's just gonna go ahead and lighten it up. And then to really get rid of that line, I'm gonna go in with my half guard closed here, and I'm using the corner of my blade just to get into those dark spots that one guard couldn't get. And you can really see as we're getting into this taper, before I explain, this is our 2 guard all the way open. This will be the biggest guard that we use, and with this guard we're really creating shape, and I'm trying to flare out as best as possible, right? Because I don't want to give him that flat top look. But as I was explaining, you can see, especially to where his vertical bar is at, the density of his hair isn't there, right? It's very light. So I'm trying my best to not take off too much hair in that area and keep it as dark as possible. And then right under that 2 guard open, I'm going in with my 1.5 closed, and we're kind of blending down here, and you're just gonna see me continually brush and go over that and get it as light as I can. And when the 1.5 doesn't get rid of that spot, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my 1 guard all the way open, and then I'll close it as needed. And I'm just gonna go ahead and attack those dark spots and try to get that taper as blended as possible. And you can see I'm just brushing and really using the corner of my blade, and that's just what's gonna get it super detailed. But you can really see what I'm talking about with the density of his hairline. It's really not there. And now to blend into the length on top a little bit better, I'm gonna go in with my clipper over comb, and it doesn't look like I'm cutting much here, but this is really blending a lot. So I'm going in with the comb, and then I'm flaring out slightly, and any hair sticking out of that comb I'm going ahead and I'm just getting rid of. And right here I'm just freehanding and just kind of creating shape, trying to blend into the length on top as gradual and as clean as possible. And I saw some dark spots there towards the front of the taper, and I'm just going ahead and attacking those using clipper over comb. And right here I'm using my fine tooth comb to go ahead and comb through the hair and allow it to lay in its natural position as best as I can. And then I'm going to come back in and detail some more with my 1.5 open, and then gradually closing as needed. And you can see as we just stay patient and just detail that taper, it really starts to come together and look a lot more finished and polished. And then I came in with my Babyliss clippers because I feel like it just opens up a little bit wider and it's easier to detail with the corner of the blade. And getting into this side, we're going to do the same exact steps as we did on the previous side, which I just showed you, right? So I'm starting off with my bald line, starting at the top of the arch and then going to where the ear connects to the head. And I'm just creating a straight bald line. And then I'm going to follow it up with the shaver once again, just to get it a little bit closer to the skin. And then clipper open. This is a very simple haircut, family, that I feel is unnecessary haircut too. No, I feel like it's a very popular haircut that a lot of people get, I would say this is kind of like the My Player 2K haircut, right? This is a kind of a haircut that you would see in the game. So every time he comes in, I'm like, man, you got a 2K haircut. But anyway, I'm just saying this is a very important cut that I feel like you should know how to do, right? Especially if you're in a barbershop. And then I'm gonna follow up that clipper all the way open with our one guard all the way open. Really flicking out, creating shape. As I said, all these guidelines, since it is kind of a wedged haircut, it's not a flat top look. And with every step that we do in this high taper process, you can see how it gradually starts to come together. And I would say that's probably my favorite part about cutting hair, is how you can start with something like a clean, fresh canvas and just add a dope blend to it, or a crisp line, and it changes the entire look of someone's head. And I would say that's my favorite part, is being able to create something out of essentially nothing. You know what I mean? Start something from scratch and be able to create something that's sharp, that's clean, that's crispy, and that brings confidence to a customer and a client, right? And I feel like that's just my favorite part about barbering. And right now, just to blend into that length that he has on top, I'm using clipper over comb once again. And then right here, I'm just freehanding. And you can see his top is very natural looking, right? He doesn't want to give it any shape, like a nice round shape or a box shape. He wanted to keep it just as it is. We're gonna go ahead and sponge it at the end, but it's very natural. So we're just doing a high taper and a lineup on this cut. And right here, I'm grabbing my one guard and I'm just detailing slightly. And I'm just doing a little bit of clipper over comb here as well, just kind of detailing. And that taper is coming out clean. And now getting into the neck taper, we're gonna go ahead and start with our bald line. And with the neck taper, we're gonna keep it a little bit lower just because he has so much length on top. I want to give myself room to blend into that, right? I don't want my taper to be super choppy. So I'm starting with my bald line a little bit below the ear. And then I'm not going to use the shaver on his neck because I don't want to cause any irritation or room for him to have ingrown hairs. So I'm just doing the trimmer. That'll be the lowest his hair goes on his neck. And then I'm going to follow it up with the clipper all the way open, going up in the back about a full inch, because we have a lot more canvas and surface area to work with. So I want to make sure that I'm giving myself room to blend and really stretch this taper out. And then to get rid of that line, I'm going in closed and then opening that lever as needed until that line is completely blended out. And I'm letting the clipper do the work. I'm not pressing too hard, because I don't want to cause any irritation on the client's neck, cause any redness or bleeding or anything like that. So I'm just letting the weight of the clipper do the work. And now I'm going to follow that up with the one guard open. And I'm going up kind of high with this one guard open. This is about a full inch, but I'm really flicking out as I get to the top of that one guard open guideline. And you can see in the back of his neck, his hair starts to really curl up. So I'm brushing continuously, making sure that I'm letting his hair lay naturally down so I can have a blend that lasts, that doesn't go away with the shower or when he brushes down his sides, right? And now to get rid of that line between that one guard open and the clipper all the way open, I'm going in with my half guard open, and then I'm playing with the lever until that line is as blended out as I can get it. Again, I'm brushing as I do so. And since the half guard didn't quite do the job, I went ahead and took it off, and now I'm using my blade open and I'm just detailing that line slightly. And then I'm going to grab my 1.5 all the way open, and I'm going up slightly above that one guard open, and I'm just continually flicking out, trying to blend into that length as best as I can. And now going into the biggest guard that we're going to use is our 2 guard all the way open. And with this, remember, we're creating shape, so you'll see me go in and then flare out to create that wedge shape, so I don't give him a flat top look, you feel me? And then I'm combing it down. And now to blend into that length a little bit better, I'm coming in with my clipper over comb once again. I'm going in with the comb, and then I'm flaring out slightly. And although those hairs sticking out of the comb, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of. And my clipper is all the way open here when I'm doing the clipper over comb. and then I'm gonna just detail that taper some more, and you can see how it really starts to come together. And behind the ear it's a little bit bushy, so I went ahead and tapered it down with the 1.5, but he still wants to keep it dark. He wants to make it look like it's all even and all together, right? And then I'm gonna line up his nape area, keeping it as natural as possible while getting it as sharp as possible, as well as with the top of the ear. And when you put the line on that taper, it really brings it together, right? It shows you what you need to go back and detail, and it just acts as the framework of the blend. Now getting into his lineup, I'm going ahead and combing it out, and right here I just wanted to show you how his corners are naturally light, so we are going to try our best to keep that as natural as possible while getting it as straight and as crispy as possible, right? So to start off the lineup, I'm going to start in the middle, and then I'm going to move to either the left or right side first, whichever you feel more comfortable with. So I'm going to start in the middle, and right here I'm moving towards his right side, which is the highest point of his hairline. And then I'm going to go ahead and even out the left side to the best of my ability with that. And then I'm going to go towards his left side, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring everything together. And right here I'm freehanding, just kind of getting rid of all those hairs that hang over the hairline, just so it lasts a little bit longer. And then I'm going to move towards the corners, keeping it as natural as possible, and then the box area as well. And you can see once we put the line on there, that taper really starts to come together. Trying to keep it as natural as I can get it. And then this is his lighter side, which is his right side, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of ghost that area that's lighter. I don't want to dig into it and you know, try to line it up where the dark hairs at, because that's how you're gonna push him back and give him that weird lineup that when you look at him from the front, it'll look like a horseshoe, right? So I'm going ahead straight across, acting as if there was hair there, and I'm gonna line up his vertical bar. And you can see, since we did blend in to that lighter area that was right where his vertical bar was at and kept it as dark as possible, when we put the line on there, it doesn't look bad at all, right? And then to really take this hairline to the next level and fill in those lighter areas on his hairline, I'm gonna fill it in with our Kiss and alcohol mix and our airbrush. And right here we're trying to fill in those light spots, but as well keep it as natural looking as possible, right? I don't want someone to look at his hairline and be like, oh, you got that fake stuff in there. Nah, I want to keep it as natural looking as possible. And I'm going to follow it up with hair fibers to give it a more dry and natural look. And then we're going to go ahead and reline it. And when we reline it, you're going to see how that hairline really comes to life and goes to that whole nother level. Boom. And I feel like it just took the taper, it took the whole cut to, you know, to another level. So now I'm going to go ahead and shave his face. The little baby beard that he had, we're going to go ahead and shave it off. And then with the razor, you want to make sure that you're stretching his skin. And then we're going to go ahead and get rid of all those hairs that the clipper couldn't get. And this is just going to allow his hairline to last a little bit longer and a lot more crisp, right? But my man came in looking rough, so we went ahead and cleaned him up with the high taper. We're going to go ahead and sponge the top. And I think this cut came out clean, family. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Drop a comment down below if this video helps you in any way, shape, or form. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Dreclipperhands, where I have a lot more dope content that will hopefully add value to you. But family, thank you for clicking on this video. Catch y'all next time.